Welcome to the Opus Efficiencia podcast, where we help you and your organization work smarter. We'll explore practical strategies and research-backed methods to optimize how you work, improve efficiency, and achieve greater operational effectiveness. In this episode, we're plunging into something really vital for anyone trying to cut through the noise and, actually hit their goals. It's about cultivating a strategic mindset to drive efficiency and success. Our mission today is to pull out the core ideas that define a strategic mindset, and more importantly, find actionable ways you can start building it right now.
It's so relevant because, in today's world, things are just getting more complex, aren't they? And having a strategic mindset, it isn't just like a nice extra for leaders. It's actually foundational. It's essential if you want to achieve lasting goals, real business success. Without it, you often just end up reacting.
Exactly. That's a great word for it. So, okay, let's unpack this then. When we talk about being strategic, what does that really mean? Beyond the buzzword we hear all the time.
Well, fundamentally, it's a conscious choice. It's deliberately stepping back. It's about seeing not just the next move, but the whole board. Think about a chess master, right? They're not just obsessed with moving one piece.
Right.
They understand how that move or any move affects the entire board state, how it influences the game's flow, maybe 3, 4, 5 moves down the line. It's a really profound shift. You move from just doing stuff to deeply thinking about why you're doing it.
Okay.
It's getting past that immediate, what should I do next question? And instead always asking, hang on, why are we doing this? What's the ultimate goal here, the big picture?
That chess master analogy, it really brings it into focus instantly, doesn't it? It's that foresight, the intention, not just like frantic activity. It feels like it could totally reorient your whole approach.
Yeah.
So, okay, if it's that critical, how do we actually build this mindset? Our sources point to 4 really powerful areas to focus on. Let's dive into the first one. Okay, the first pillar is cultivate curiosity and ask why repeatedly. Now, that sounds pretty simple, right? Just be curious. But the real power here, it isn't just being inquisitive in general. It's about relentlessly peeling back the layers, understanding the current situation, and crucially, the underlying reasons for it. It means refusing to just accept things at face value.
Exactly. And, most people have probably heard of the 5 whys technique, but the strategic magic isn't just asking 5 times like a robot. It's realizing how often the obvious problem you see is just a symptom. It's often a symptom of a much deeper, maybe completely unexpected systemic issue.
Oh, okay. Like the symptom versus the disease.
Precisely. Like maybe your car has a flat tire. You think the problem is the nail you see. But after asking why a few times, why was the nail there? Why did it puncture this tire? Why is the wear uneven? You might realize it's actually a persistent alignment problem you never noticed. And that's what's slowly wearing down your tires, making them vulnerable. So you consistently ask why when you face a problem or a decision or even just new information. The real goal is to get to those root causes, those fundamental objectives, not just the superficial stuff.
So it's really about moving beyond those simple what happened and when did it happen.
Interesting.
Yeah, and getting to the why is this process taking so long, or how could we re-engineer this workflow to genuinely add more value?
Yeah.
Or even that really provocative one, what if we just got rid of this step entirely?
And this kind of relentless questioning, this almost stubborn curiosity that often leads to something our sources call intelligent laziness, which, funny enough, is the exact opposite of being idle or actually lazy. It's that strategic drive to find the absolute simplest, most elegant, and often the most automated solution to a problem.
Right.
It's that impulse to look at a repetitive task and think, how can I set things up so I never have to do this specific thing again?
Yeah.
Or how can this just happen without manual effort? This is what eliminates redundant work. It automates those repetitive tasks. It helps design processes that need minimal human intervention. And at the end of the day, it frees up precious time and resources for higher value, more strategic activities. It's really about working smarter, not just harder or faster.
That's a fantastic reframe of laziness. It's optimizing for real impact, not just activity. Okay, so if asking why helps us deeply understand the individual parts, then the next logical step in strategic thinking is connecting those parts, right?
Yeah.
Seeing how they all fit together. Which brings us neatly to our second tip. Understand the ecosystem and interconnections. This really means grasping that, no decision happens in a vacuum. A truly strategic mind gets how different parts of a system, both inside the company and outside, influence each other.
Yes. This is the absolute core of holistic thinking, or you might call it systems thinking. It means viewing your organization not just as like a collection of separate departments or functions, but as a dynamic, interconnected whole. Everything's linked. Think about it. A change in one area, let's say marketing launches a big new product.
Yep.
That decision isn't just contained within marketing, is it? It inevitably sends ripples through the entire system. It impacts operations capacity, it affects finances, budgets, and forecasts. It puts demands on the supply chain's readiness. Strategic thinkers see those ripples coming, and the big danger here, it's a really common trap, is sub-optimization.
Sub-optimization.
Yeah, it's where you make one single part of the system really efficient. Maybe you streamline sales processes brilliantly, but you do it in a way that inadvertently harms the overall system. Like maybe sales becomes so efficient it completely overwhelms operations, causing chaos downstream. You've optimized a part at the expense of the whole.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So for you listening, what are some practical ways to start cultivating this holistic view? How do you actually begin to see those ripples?
Well, a really great starting point is to actually map out your entire ecosystem. And I don't just mean internal departments. You need to include external stakeholders too, customers, suppliers, partners, even competitors and broader market trends. They belong on this map. Once you sort of have that picture, try to visualize the relationships and dependencies. Seriously, draw it out. Use diagrams, flowcharts, whatever works. Make it explicit how these different bits interact and rely on each other.
I like that, the visualization part. It really forces you to be clear. What else?
Okay, before you make any significant change, try conducting what you could call ripple effect brainstorming. Get a few people together and actively brainstorm all the potential impacts, positive and negative, across that whole ecosystem map you just drew. For example, that new product launch we talked about. What does it really demand from operations? What specific financial planning does it trigger? Is the supply chain genuinely ready for this new demand, or could it actually break under the strain? And of course, don't forget a good old SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats.
Right, the classic.
But don't just treat it like a checkbox exercise. The strategic value comes from systematically evaluating these things within the context of that interconnected ecosystem. The real challenge isn't just filling out the boxes. It's being truly brutally honest about identifying those hidden weaknesses, those unseen threats, and then, crucially, having the discipline to actually act on those uncomfortable truths.
Yeah, by taking that systems view, you really do start to move beyond that siloed thinking. You start making decisions that genuinely benefit the whole enterprise. Now, once you've kind of mapped your ecosystem and understood those ripple effects, the critical next question for a strategic thinker isn't just what's happening now, it's got to be what's coming next.
Yeah.
And that's where having a long-term perspective is just invaluable. This brings us to our third pillar. Embrace a long-term perspective and future-back thinking. Because let's be honest, strategic thinking isn't really about the quick win or immediate gratification, is it? It's about anticipating future trends and planning proactively. It's what our source calls future-focused foresight.
That's spot on. And a really key technique here is something called future-back thinking. So instead of just taking your current situation and trends and sort of projecting them forward, you flip it. You start by defining a really clear, maybe ambitious vision of your desired future state, let's say 3 to 5 years out. Make it vivid. What does success look like then? Only after you vividly imagine that future do you start working backward.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, you work backward, identifying the critical milestones needed to get there, the resources you'll require, the capabilities you need to build, and the key decisions that have to be made today to bridge that gap between where you are now and that bold future you've envisioned.
So you're basically reverse engineering your own success path. Okay, how can someone listening start actually applying this today? What are the steps?
Okay, first step. Define that future vision. Be specific. Be detailed. What does success look, feel, and achieve in, say, 2028? Second, do the future back exercise. Work backward from that future vision. Identify the major steps, the critical turning points, the key decisions year by year leading back to today. This really helps clarify what your immediate priorities should be strategically. Third, try conducting pre-mortems. This is a powerful one.
Pre-mortems, like before it's dead.
Exactly. Before launching a big initiative, get the team together and imagine it's 1 year from now and the whole thing has catastrophically failed. Then brainstorm all the possible reasons why it failed. This exercise is fantastic for proactively identifying and mitigating risks you might otherwise completely overlook. It really strengthens your plan. And finally, keep scanning for emerging trends. Regularly set aside time to research what's happening out there, broader industry shifts, new tech, demographic changes, economic factors. This helps you spot potential headwinds or tailwinds early, giving you time to adapt strategically.
Yeah, by consistently using that future-back approach, it feels like you move from just trying to predict the future to actually having a hand in shaping it. That feels incredibly empowering. But okay, the future, even when you're trying to shape, is still inherently uncertain. Right?
Yeah.
So our fourth and final tip deals with that directly: scenario planning and contingency thinking. Because realistically, a truly strategic thinker doesn't just bank on one ideal path working out. They prepare for multiple possibilities, recognizing that even the best plans can hit unexpected bumps, or, hey, even unexpected opportunities.
Precisely. This involves systematically thinking through various potential futures, plausible futures, and then, crucially, developing proactive responses for each scenario before it happens. It's all about building mental flexibility and organizational resilience, so you're less likely to be completely blindsided by surprises, and you're far better equipped to adapt quickly when things inevitably change. It's not about having a perfect crystal ball to predict the future, it's about being ready for a range of possible futures.
Okay, so practically, how do we do this? What's the method here?
Well, for any major project or critical decision, you should aim to develop multiple future scenarios. A good rule of thumb is at least 3 distinct ones. A best-case scenario where, everything goes even better than planned. A worst-case scenario where significant obstacles pop up or things really go wrong.
Yeah.
And a most likely case, which is your best guess for the probable outcome based on current trends and data. Then, and this is the really critical part for every one of those scenarios, you explicitly detail the specific actions you would take.
Like a playbook for each possibility.
Exactly. What resources would you need? What decisions get made? Who needs to be involved? This isn't just an abstract thought experiment. It becomes an actionable contingency plan.
I can immediately see the link to efficiency here.
Yeah.
By actively thinking through potential problems in advance, like, say, supply chain disruptions, or a key technology suddenly becoming obsolete, or a big shift in customer demand, you can strategically build systems that are more resilient from the start.
Exactly right. You build systems that are inherently more efficient because they're designed to absorb shocks, not break under pressure. This proactive approach drastically cuts down on reactive firefighting. That constant scrambling. It reduces waste because you're not constantly fixing unexpected messes. And it helps ensure operations can continue running smoothly or at least adapt gracefully even when things get tough. Ultimately, this safeguards your overall efficiency and your long-term success. This practice really transforms uncertainty. It stops being this paralyzing threat and actually becomes a powerful tool for proactive planning and building robust, efficient operations.
Okay, so we've walked through these 4 key pillars for cultivating a strategic mindset. We've gone from asking that fundamental why all the way to understanding the whole system, looking years ahead, and even planning for multiple different futures. But let's bring it back. What's the ultimate reward? What's the real payoff for all this deep strategic thinking?
Well, at the end of the day, operational efficiency isn't really a goal you chase separately. It becomes a powerful, almost natural consequence of doing the strategic thinking and execution properly. When your strategy truly aligns with your operations, when you've applied these principles waste just naturally diminishes. Resources get used more effectively. Processes become more streamlined. Efficiency becomes a fundamental outcome, not just another initiative you have.
So the blueprint for success seems pretty clear then. A strategic mindset isn't just about, thinking big thoughts. It's the very foundation, maybe even the DNA for lasting success. It drives efficiency and unleashes the true potential within your organization. It really boils down to being proactive, not just reactive. Now, here's a final provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider and maybe apply. Think about your biggest challenge right now, or maybe your biggest opportunity. What strategic move will you make first to start unleashing your organization's true potential? With that, we come to the end of another episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Opus Efficientia podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode on optimizing the way you work, and check out opusefficientia.com for more insights. So, until next time, let's keep optimizing.